Welcome to episode 1 of Off Topic, where we give you real teen stories from real teen voices. And a brief shout out to Jack, who is our sound guy. And today we have a special guest who is on a dance outside of school and does an amazing job balancing being a student and a dancer. Let's welcome Maya.
Yeah, I'm so happy to be here.
Hi, Maya. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to Off Topic.
Thank you. This is great.
So my first and official question is, what is in your pre-game playlist, if you have one, of course, and why?
Okay, so I think dance is almost an art form for me, so it's kind of just how I portray my emotions and what emotions the musician was trying to portray through their music. There's a lot of different pre-game playlists depending on what kind of mood I need to set myself in for my dance performance or just for dance class. So, sometimes it'll be sad if I'm doing a more lyrical, sad piece, or if it's more hip-hop, I'll do Just Dance by Lady Gaga or something like that. Or if I'm really nervous, then I always just play the song that I'm about to dance to, just so I can replay it.
So you can just get the choreo in your head,
Right. So no set pregame playlist, I would say, but there's 100 of them just for every emotion you could think of.
I know there's 100 and for each emotion, but do you have a favorite one?
A favorite playlist?
Favorite playlist with perhaps it has that one song that's yes.
Ooh. Yeah. I'd say I have a sad playlist.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, I don't like being sad. I'm not a pessimist or anything, but
of course.
I love sad music because of how deep the lyrics are, and then also how the musician is able to portray their sadness in so many different ways, through the music, through the song. So, say my sad playlist, and I think anything by Lana. We love Lana. We love Lana.
This is off topic video podcast, but so this is a sort of an off topic question. Do you have a favorite album by Lana?
Album? Ooh, there's no favorite album because there's a lot of songs I like from so many albums. I'd say I really like White Mustang as a song. It's a great song.
Okay, I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I'll get that listen.
There's also a lot of the popular ones, like West Coast is great. Sadness-wise, Cinnamon Girl gets me so sad every time. It's so beautiful, though. She's really powerful with her music. She gets me feeling all sorts of things.
I love it, and I'll give those songs a listen. Thank you. So now moving on to another question. I'm very curious about this. How do you balance homework or just school in general with dance?
Yeah, so I think it's mostly about looking ahead. My schedule changes depending on what competitions or recitals I have, and when my practices are, which changes depending on what we have coming up. So if I have something during the week, I'll work a lot during the weekends. And that gives me a little bit of free time during the week too if I get ahead. But also, if I'm not doing anything in the weekend, it's good to be productive and get that out of the way. So I'd say just looking ahead so I'm not overwhelmed, because cramming's never fun, or
I hate cramming.
Sleep deprivation.
That's just sleep deprivation and test and dancing. I don't think those go together.
Yeah, definitely not. So look ahead. That's my biggest advice.
Thank you, and I'll even take that piece of advice. Thank you so much. So now you brought up recitals. So now I'm curious. So give me a day in life when you do have a recital.
Okay.
I want to know all the details.
So I'd say our biggest performance, or my favorite performance, is at Capital One.
Okay.
So we do that. We kind of work towards the whole year learning a lot of different pieces, and then we perform them all at Capital One. So that's basically what we are leading up to with a lot of small recitals.
Yeah.
Capital One is 15 minutes away from my house.
Okay.
Even so, if I have to meet up at 8, which is usually the time, 8 in the morning, I have to be up by 5:30 to get, my hair ready, my makeup ready before I go. And, I mean, I don't know how many of y'all do makeup, but to get that stuff to stay on, especially, even just in a regular day.
Yes.
Let alone while you're moving
lots of
all
reapplying,
day.
Lots of reapplying. Oh, my goodness.
Lots of reapplying, setting spray. and my hair.
Right. Since you have like such like long and beautiful hair,
thank
so
you.
I can just imagine
it's thick,
the prep
for sure.
Like,
and so and to keep it up, there's all sorts of hairstyles because performances you usually want to go all out.
Yes.
But to be able to do some crazy hairstyles, it takes some time.
Yeah.
So.
What are these hairstyles that like are crazy?
Yeah.
Like, can you
so
explain that?
We do a lot of Indian, I'd say like traditional more hairstyles. So hairstyles that are done in India as opposed to being as popularized here.
Right. Okay.
So it's kind of westernized, I'll say. So it's like different types of braids, elaborate braids, but you also put all sorts of jewelry and
that's so
you
beautiful.
Adorn your hair. It's great.
That's
it's great.
beautiful.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But it takes a lot of time.
Yes,
it's very meticulous.
Yes, I was about to say that. Like, oh my god. So if you were going to do that hairstyle, like, would you have to wake up even earlier? Would that be the first thing you do the moment you like wake up?
So I'll tell you. I mean, if I'm doing all of my own stuff, I have to be up by maybe like 5 or 4:30. Because to straighten my hair, it takes 45 minutes on its own, and so you can imagine.
Yes. Your poor arms. Oh my goodness.
But my lovely mom helps me. So
mom's to the rescue.
She's great. Oh, she's so great. She's been doing my show makeup for forever.
Oh.
So when I'm doing my makeup, she'll do my hair, or vice versa. So we're each working on one thing.
So you have to wake up so early. So I'm curious, what is the night before like? I'm sure there's like anxious energy, since I know you've been doing this for a while, but I'm sure do you have those jitters and you're like, okay, I gotta go to bed now, but your heart's pounding. Like, I'm curious, what is that like?
Yeah, I mean, I used to be so nervous and I'd stay up all night just terrified about the next day. But I was young. I mean, I've been doing this for a while. I'd say nowadays I'm not as nervous. Okay. I'd say until right before I'm performing.
Right.
Just because there's so much you need to memorize and so much you need to be ready for that I'm thinking about that more than I am the actual performance itself.
Oh my.
So, yeah. I wouldn't say I'm as nervous anymore.
Right. So, I'm curious, you mentioned how you have recitals. So, could you perhaps give me a day in the life when you do have one, like waking up? I'm
so, I don't know if, you've seen any dance performances, but even just regular performances, I mean, you go all out with your makeup.
Yeah.
So, so that's something that I also have to do. I have to do makeup so meticulously, and my hair has to be adorned, and and you have to keep it on for the whole day. So usually 8 a.m. calls. What you had asked me before was, what's the night like before?
Yeah, what is please tell me, what is the night like before you have a recital?
Yeah. So, I think the night before, I used to be so nervous when I was younger.
Yeah.
But I think the more that you become acclimated with something, it's more of excitement, but, and I do get nervous before I go up to perform.
It's a human reaction. Yes,
it's normal. But I think the day before, it's just focused so much on, my makeup, my hair, and my outfit, and everything, that I don't really focus on the nerves and the performance.
I was about to say that.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
And so you're so distracted that you don't really even think about that. So, I mean, I'd say the night before is mostly just preparation for the next day.
Yes.
And, you don't have time for nerves sometimes.
No, you gotta lock in. You have to stand on business with the hair.
Oh, yeah.
And just, there's just so many other things like external factors. It's kind of like, when it comes to internally, you're like, I don't have time.
Yeah.
I have to do this. So I know you have recitals. So other than recitals, you said you had the big one in March and in May. But what about the one, like, do you have any other recitals that are like in different areas? And what is it like going?
Okay, I'll tell you. So we get a lot of opportunities. There's been some really cool ones recently that I haven't gotten to go to, which I've been so upset about. We performed at Disney. And
I'm a big Disney fan.
Oh, is she? Yeah.
I love Disney.
Yeah, Disney's great.
You shouldn't have told her that.
I shouldn't have. I'll invite you next time.
Oh, yes, you gotta invite me.
It's so great. It's such a great opportunity, but it was in the middle of a lot of college things that I had to get done, and so I just didn't have the time.
Was this, I'm so sorry to interrupt you, was this in junior year?
This was last year and this year. So I haven't gone, because I've had some sort of conflict.
I'm sorry.
No, it's cool though, because I know that my friends are doing it and they're really enjoying it, so I'm happy for the
Yeah,
opportunity. But if that were to happen, I have to go to Florida.
Okay.
So that's a big travel.
That is a big travel.
Yeah, it is a lot of travel.
What's the name of this recital or competition where you go to Florida? Do you know?
So it's it's the Disney Diwali parade.
Oh wow.
And my dance class gets invited to it, and it's really cool. So we get to dance while we're in the parade.
Oh my
it's
god!
Like, yeah,
so you would even get to go like behind the scenes.
Oh yeah.
Too.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Which is awesome because I'm also a huge Disney fan. So it's extra extra practice times on top of the ones you already have, and I had work over the summer, so it's just didn't work out.
No.
But that things like that is there's some travel, and even my smaller recitals.
Yes.
Sometimes they're in Maryland because there's a lot of different batches or groups or teams, I guess you could say. So yeah, there's a lot of traveling. Sometimes I'll have to go to Maryland or somewhere further away in Virginia. So
yeah, what is it like when you go to those different areas, like seeing, since I know you're more so in Virginia based, it seems, but when you go to Maryland, what type of communities are you in, and what's that like? Yeah. Like, do you still get to invite your friends or family, since it is a bit of a hike, so I'm curious.
So my family, they support me a lot, which is great. They come to all my small recitals. My friends sometimes aren't free for those small ones, but I usually just invite them to the big capital one at the end of the year. But yeah, I mean, I'd say it's different in the sense that I don't think it's just a Maryland thing. I think it's just where I live in Virginia versus other places in Virginia. There's a huge Indian population, and I do Indian dance, if I didn't mention that. Yeah. It's an Indian style of dance.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It's great.
It's great.
But, and so you'll see such a community there, which is not something that you get if you're in, some other parts of Virginia. In some parts of Virginia you do, but where I live in Virginia, there's not a lot of Indian people surrounded in my neighborhood or anything like that. So there's not that shared identity community aspect. So it's very interesting to see that in other places. Right. So when I go to Maryland, I went to a dance performance, and there's, a lot of Indian restaurants, Indian even clothing stores, which is not something you see a lot.
I'm sure, like, you just had that thing in your heart.
Great. Oh, yeah.
You're just like,
yes. Oh, my gosh, I got some good food, too, after my recital. Do you have,
like, okay, this is off-topic moment, but do you have, like...
Oh, my God, she said the thing.
Do you have, like, you said you went to go take some Indian food afterwards. Do you have, like, a favorite, by any chance, a favorite dish?
So, I don't remember the exact restaurants, but... just in general, you're probably not going to remember this.
Okay,
there's this place called Adayar Anand Bhavan. It's an Indian restaurant. And I don't think she's going to get that, but people call it, even I don't know how to spell it, girl, so it's fine. I mean, we call it A to B.
Can I laugh?
Yes.
Am I allowed to laugh?
Oh my gosh,
Actually, there's no laughing aloud.
No happiness at the off topic.
Yes.
There's actually no laughing aloud.
Because trust me, I know it's hard to remember. It's a long name. We call it A to B to shorten it.
Okay.
But it's great food, and they give you. I don't know if you guys have had dosa before, but it's this long. Like it's a meal. It's like,
wait. So what exactly is it? You said it's. What is, so you said it's this
dosa,
long? It's dosa? Okay.
Yeah.
What exactly is it?
So it's basically a thin paper circle.
Okay.
But like if I'm cooking it or my parents are cooking it, they make it maybe, plate sized.
Yeah.
Whereas at A to B.
I wrote it down here.
It's big.
Okay.
And that was very much of a jarring experience when I first went there, because I just want a light meal.
Yeah,
so I
it's like,
got the small dosa.
It's
you need, and they brought an extra table over. They slid it down just so that it wouldn't hang off the side.
How long did it take to prepare it? Like, were you waiting for like an hour to get this?
No, it was quick too. That's the best part of them. It was like maybe 10 minutes,
time.
15 minutes max.
Wow.
It was good, but I had leftovers for days.
Oh yeah, that's like a month of leftovers right
there.
I can't imagine like what it's like in the kitchen. Like go.
Oh, I can't imagine either. But respect.
They earned a lot of cool points. That's wow. So you talked about your friends a bit, and it kind of, I want to ask a quick question.
Yeah,
so what is it like balancing friendships or relationships with what you do? Since I'm sure you're amazing with it, so that requires a lot of practice. Yeah. And so, like, how are you able to find that balance?
You know, my biggest thing is, if people care about you, then they'll want you to be passionate about the things that you do, and they'll support you through those endeavors. So I feel like if I'm struggling to maintain friendships, then maybe those friendships aren't supportive in the way that I need them to be.
And that's so real.
Right. I mean, and so I have some great friends, and they support my endeavors. Every time they plan anything for over the weekend, they make sure that they plan it around my dance. Aww. And they'll come support me at my performances whenever they can. And so when you say, how do I balance my friends, I really feel like they meet me halfway with them. I mean, there's not a lot of balancing that I have to do on my end. They're really supportive. And I think that's such an important quality in friends, you know what I mean?
That is an important quality, and I'm glad you said that, because, like, my mom has this thing, she says, where, like, when people care about you, they make time.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like that corresponds to what you're saying. And that just went a little off topic, but still, I just...
You said the name of the show.
She said the name of the show. She did the thing. But no, I really like what you were saying. And that's such a great point. So can you imagine doing dance? Like, I know you've been doing this for 13 years, but can you imagine doing this later on in college or just even as a hobby?
Yeah. So I definitely want it to be some part of my life, because it has been for as long as I can remember.
That's literally your life.
Yeah, I mean, since I was 4, I've been dancing, and so it's such an ingrained part in my head. And in my life, I can't imagine not doing it. You know what I mean? But
it's a part of you.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I can also imagine, later in life, especially in college, I might not have as much time to put towards it, and if that happens, I mean, that's okay. I definitely, where I am now, I definitely want it to be a part of my life in some way, shape, or form.
Yes.
Now, the commitment itself, I don't know if I'm going to be as, involved, but so I definitely do want to do it. And, there's so many people who are doing Bollywood.
Right.
So I definitely think that there'll be a place for me wherever.
Of course, like balancing college and even like later on the work, like I've heard like some like people like have like a band gig like on the weekends after like a full week of working. So like anything is possible, but you definitely it'll be a place in your heart. Like perhaps that can just be like helping with the class. Right. Could you imagine doing that?
Yeah, for sure. Oh, yeah. Choreographer. And I feel like, you were saying if people care about you, they'll make time for you. I think if you care about something so much, you'll find a way to make time as well. I love that. Like
that was a one-liner. I like that one-liner.
Quote. But yeah, I mean, I feel like I love it so much, and that's why I don't get overwhelmed by these recital days, and I don't crash out because when my hair doesn't go the way I want it to for the first hour of getting ready. Yeah. And that's because I really love it, and so I know that
it's worth it.
Yeah, and I'm passionate about it, so I hope that'll continue.
I love your responses, by the way. These are like really great responses. Let's give a shout out to Maya. Let's go, Maya. So now, did we start with an off-topic question?
I don't think we did.
I don't think we did.
Straight
in. We straight on the business. Now we're gonna end with an off-topic question. Are you ready for this?
I'm so ready.
Okay, POV. You're trapped on an island. And you can only bring 2 things. What would it be, and why?
A boat.
That's the most logical answer. Thank you.
A blanket.
You're no fun.
A boat and a blanket.
Okay, so I'm presuming the boat is to escape,
and the blanket is so that I don't die of cold.
But that's realistic. Thank you. Because I've heard some people say like, "Oh, I would bring Hugh Jackman with me." I'm like, how's Hugh Jackman going to get you off the island?
He's not going to help.
How is he going to get you off the island?
He's not going to get you off the island.
I'll bring Danny DeVito.
Yeah, like I actually appreciated that this was a logical response. Thank you so much, Maya.
Yeah, of course.
And you know what? Just thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. This is so nice.
This was an amazing. Well, guys, that was off topic, and thank you.
Thank you.